Hello you lovely people, and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV, looking today at items added in patch 6.4, specifically housing. We're continuing to look at some of the things that I haven't looked at yet, and specifically today I wanted to talk about imitation items. So this is imitation windows and things like that, and there was a few items, specifically 3 new imitation items added to the game as of 6.4. So imitation windows and things like that, they've been around a while. We've got a variety of different ones. I thought we would demonstrate them. So in terms of stained glass windows, we've got the roundel, we've got, you know, faked stained glass in like a rectangle. Then we've got something way more epic of a much greater scale with this beautiful surround. And then we've also got different types of windows. So we've got ones with shutters on them. We've got small, like, modern lights. So these actually open, you know, they provide light coming through them when it's day. It's not day at the time of recording, but it was easier to see the wood grains and things. Same with modern ones like that. And then we've got more traditional style ones as well. So there are actually 2 major items to add to this collection of windows. First of all, specifically, we're looking at the imitation stuff. So all of the items here, first of all, the imitation shuttered window, the new version of that is the imitation curtained window. This was added recently. This is a level 90 basic woodworking recipe using almasty serge, ironwood lumber, and crystal glass. The only thing that costs a lot at the moment is the almasty serge, and we'll look at that in just a second. One of the other items added is the imitation moonlit window that requires level 90 goldsmithing using bismuth ingots, crystal glass, and blue spirit tiles. So this is then what those items look like. So let's go into our housing menu and plop them down. I thought it was a good idea to have like demonstrations in the background so that it would be easier to compare. So we bought a couple of these, and this is the scale of them. So as I've just shown you, I don't think you can truly understand the quality improvement that's gone on since the older stained glass windows. So this is how it was before, up close and personal, nice and pixelated. Even at a distance, it looks fairly dated. Whereas this is very Amarottian, I would say, very similar to some of the things that we might see in, you know, Shadowbringers and beyond. And when you get up close and personal, there is very little pixelation. They've done a really good job with the edges on this. There are a few jaggies here and there with where they could have done with a bit of, you know, like anti-aliasing, and it seems to be slightly more blurred, as you can tell. Right, that's the big difference. But the difference is from far away. This is a completely night and day situation. Obviously, these are church type windows. A lot of people have used these to create renditions of Aerith's church from Final Fantasy VII and things like that. This is a completely different style of window. I get that. However, I think that they could redo these with this style and they would look 10 times better. This could be a foretelling of future items that we might see as they improve the texture quality across the board of a lot of things. And obviously in 7.0 this is going to affect characters as well. So with that being said, we're expecting high praise for whatever comes out of the curtained window. So obviously we've got the shutter over there. This then is the curtained imitation window. And immediately, as you can see, by the way, if we had that in our bag, you can demonstrate the light that would be coming through here. So it would have that nice yellow sort of orangey glow. Of course, it's not daytime right now. Yeah, I think that the difference is slightly less, but you'll notice that the detailing on the actual item, like the curtain rungs themselves, are nicely detailed, as well as the rail with the ends on there. We've got some nice sort of inlay on this. I think this is a way higher quality model. In fact, all of these items are way higher quality models than some of the earlier attempts. I mean, you might disagree. It's probably harder to tell comparatively than it is with something like this, but it is a really, really nice item. So these 2 items are, of course, dyeable. But before we get onto dye colorations, there is one other item added in this patch on the imitation line, which is the imitation closed door. The sign on this mock wooden door forbids entry. Please respect its authority. Right, so we can plop this down, and as you can see, if you wanted to create a fake door appearance, you can also sort of slightly clip this into the floor, by the way, if you don't want the sort of curvature. As you can see, it will allow you to do that with no placement glitches at all. But this is flush with snap to grid to the floor. This is a wall-based item, so technically you could put this near the ceiling if you wanted to. Not that that would necessarily look good. And of course, it has no real interaction. The interactions are actually with the partition here. But it says no entry in Eorzean typesetting. Has this beautiful door knob and keyhole. And yeah, I think that the quality of this is also quite nice. I think the new style that they're doing with housing items is they're getting around the idea of texture blurriness. Texture like jaggedness by blurring slightly just the edges. It's almost like everything has like a soft brush applied to it, and I think it works like 10 times better. Yeah, I really like this. So let's look at just briefly, because I forgot to mention how you crafted the door and people might want to know. This is just basic armor craft, level 90, integral lumber, bismuth ingots, crystal glass and mortar. So you know, these materials are reasonably priced, but they've been hiked at the moment recently because of other items added in the patch. Let's look at dye ability then of these items, which of course you could do in the furnishing preview window, but we're here. So the thing that dyes exclusively on the door then is the actual door wood itself and not the frame. Again, just another example of what that looks like in a variety of colors. So if you wanted to create like the illusion of maybe your apartment, right? Because a lot of people only have apartments. The housing crisis is still very much in effect. People find it very difficult to get housing spaces. So if you have an apartment which is more readily available to more players out there, then perhaps you want to give the illusion of maybe there being another room, just you can't get into it. And this is part of that illusion, which I think is quite cool. One of the other things then that you can dye is the Imitation moonlit window, which I think is one of the coolest items in the game now. I really love this. But the thing that dies is actually the metal framework, which is good, because I don't think you'd want to get rid of that beautiful sort of indigo blue to you know, turquoise sort of fade that they've got going on there, that marbling almost. Yeah, it's just a fade, a transition. Nice black colors. Dark colors seem to work better. The brighter colors sort of make it way more obvious that some of these jaggies exist on some of the texturing, but it's not actually the design itself. It's kind of like the perspective, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you wanted to, I don't know, make some kind of brown framed blue window, you totally could. But yeah, people like to dye things so they can match them to other furniture and walls and other things like that to give a better sense of you know, matching, right? So for example, Rotano blue looks beautiful in that. It's a great contrast. It makes the blue pop out, whereas turquoise, probably a little bit too bright, and Dragoon blue looks absolutely exceptional, especially if you're going for something that gives you that very dark, almost gives you the undersea vibe. And I'm sure a lot of people will combine this with aquariums and things as well. So when it comes to the other item then, you probably would have guessed that the dye ability on this item... Oh, is there no dye ability on this? Hold on a minute. There we go. I clicked on the wrong thing. Is actually, surprise, surprise, the wood and the curtains. So it looks really, really nice. I was kind of hoping that it wasn't just the wood and it wasn't just the curtains and that they all died. This is a perfect example of sometimes where you want everything to die. Now, it would be nice, as we've said before, on dye palettes that other MMORPGs have. For example, in Black Desert Online, you'd be able to pick and choose what section of this you were dyeing. You would even be able to dye the rail. I'm not asking for it to be like eccentric and dye every single section, but for simple things like this, obviously dyeing the curtains separately would be cool as an option. But all the same, I quite like the fact that with the limited function that we have, at least they decided, you know, that they went, oh, well, let them just dye everything, which is cool. Which is cool, because I think most people will probably go for striking colors anyway, or darker colors seem to look the best. Like, look at that. It really brings the gold out, and of course with the light coming in through there, that's going to look exceptional, and it will offset the darkness of the curtains. But yeah, not everybody likes black curtains. I love black curtains in real life. I love them. They're great. Blackout drapes are brilliant, so you can actually see your monitor. But not everyone is a gremlin that spends 80 hours a week in front of their computer. But it is what it is. But yeah, really nice stuff. So I thought I'd put this together. I know this is a little bit of like, oh wow, you spent this long looking at housing items, but it's very rare that you can get all of these items in one shot. In fact, it's very difficult to do so even now. But yeah, instead of making lots of little videos, there we go. But my favorite is the moonlit window. Holy moly, I can't wait to see what people come up with that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Of course, without your support, I wouldn't be able to do this day in, day out. More videos on the way, and we should be seeing more news coming up for the upcoming 6.45 patch, and there's all sorts of things to look forward to as well. So much love, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.